So good afternoon. So obviously, we've been for several of us already together for a little while this afternoon, given that we are sponsoring AdTech and the next big thing. And we brought a group of, I guess, about between 75 and 100 of our marketers actually here. So there may be actually some in the room. I know there are. For those of you who are not working for Unilever, these are some of the brands. So obviously, lots of opportunities for you to actually work with us. By the way, one of the ways for the startups that are here today and still tomorrow to engage with us, we also have a hackathon downstairs on sustainability and how to change behavior for more sustainable lifestyle. So I invite you in front of the room number 1 downstairs to go and participate. There is a £5,000 prize for the winner and a £50,000 ring-fence budget for a potential pilot if the winner is good enough. So now, clearly, this whole move, and we really started this journey with the startups, at least from a marketing standpoint, digital marketing startups, only a couple of years ago, when recognizing the changing environment in which we live, we started with a few people to say we need to send some of the marketers to South by Southwest. And then we started to bring some of the startups and some of our Unilever venture and startup pioneers inside the company to Cannes, to the creative festival. And we started there to do some pilot projects. Initially, we thought with 4 to 5 brands. We ended up having to limit it because we had about 15 brand candidates that actually wanted to do a pilot as part of a program we called Go Global. And based on that, we actually said we need to go to the next journey and start to do it at a bigger scale. Why? Because clearly, we have all those changing environment in which we live. But one of the things we know we absolutely need to do if we want to continue to be at the forefront of marketing today and for the years to come, is to actually pioneer more. And it's very easy in a company the size and the scale of Unilever to actually do a lot of the things that we know how to do, but not to see how fast the change is happening in the marketplace. And that's why it's so great to have so many of us actually in a place like here, where you not only meet new people, hear about new ideas, but also take the pulse of the pioneering spirit, which I really believe is becoming not just a way to create new ideas, to create new solutions, but it's becoming almost a way of life. Now, recognizing that, again, we do not know what the future exactly will look like. More and more of us talk about data and big data, and we have no idea, none of us, how data is going to change the way marketing gets done in 3 years, 4 years' time. But it's going to be massive. And so that means that we really need to recognize the fact that we need to do pilots and deploy them. The head of the MIT Media Lab recently killed Nicola Negroponte's mantra of demo or die to actually now replace it by deploy or die. And I really think this idea that you need to not just demo, that you have an idea, that you have a concept, but you actually need to put it out there in the marketplace and execute it more than theorize it. So it's this idea introduced, I think, or attributed at least to Watson, one of the key CEOs who made IBM what IBM is today, to say that if you want to succeed at a faster pace, you need to double your rate of failure. So it's really all about experimentation and recognizing that we, at least I, have been educated in a world where if you were given by your boss a problem, you actually tried to go and to solve it. And most of the time now I tell the younger generations, and that's how they behave, you know, if you actually get given a problem by your boss, don't try to crack it. Try to find 100 people that are already working on it, that are already trying to crack it. And tap into them, collaborate with them, so that together you can actually create a fantastic solution. And so it's about tapping into what's being done, and that's what the startups are doing. Hence, the Unilever Foundry, which, again, we launched just only a few months ago, and which has been really a fantastic journey over a year and a half to put something together that is a solution at the scale of Unilever, of all our brands. We currently have, I think, about 35 active briefs on the Foundry, on the Unilever Foundry, but also at the scale of all the startup communities across the globe. And if I'm not wrong, I think there is a video right after this where you're going to hear me speak about the Foundry, but it will give you a little bit of the background of the Foundry and also some context from some of the people we work with. No, so the video is a bit later. Sorry, I'm confused. So the Foundry is all about bringing the outside in. And this is the video. In today's world, we need to constantly invent new ways, take more risks, experiment, and invent the future.
They've understood how the future works, and it's via technology.
Connecting innovation with global reach. 2 billion people around the world use their products every day, and that sort of in-depth market knowledge is huge for us as a startup.
We're young, we're funky. It will be great for us to do stuff together so that we can get the reach that Unilever has and Unilever can get the fund that we have.
So what we'd like to do is take our technology, which is very cutting edge, very innovative, and marry that with a huge brand like Unilever and roll this out globally.
We don't see a lot of support coming from governments anymore. Where it comes from is brands. So brands are the ones that are driving culture. It's promoting innovative companies that are developing ideas that will help change and shape the fabric of youth culture in a country.
You know, Upworthy works with a lot of different brands, a lot of different nonprofits, small companies, big companies. A lot of times the big companies have a reputation for being a little slower to sort of innovate. That's not the case at all with Unilever. I mean, they really get it. They have really smart people in the key places. We're being pushed, we're being challenged, we're being sort of asked to be better, asked to make our product better. It's really been great. And that's why we're here today.
Where the magic really happens is when the power of our brands and our marketers combines with the ingenuity and the entrepreneurial spirits of the startups. They create something that individually wouldn't have been as strong, but that together they make invincible. So again, I mean, for us, this was both a very easy project to put together, but at the same time, it was really interesting to see how it picked up in something which is quite pioneering, quite new. So because we didn't have an entry point for all the technology innovative companies to actually tap into Unilever, we had Unilever Ventures, but we, every time that there was a potential innovative technology company, they didn't know who to reach out to, who to approach. It's also about this idea of stimulating experimentation inside the company and really this desire to give our marketers the permission to experiment, to try, to fail. And also, it's a way for us to meet new potential partners, and that's where we work hand in hand on this with Unilever Ventures, and we've created a digital marketing board, actually, which both myself and the head of media at Unilever sit on, so that we are actually able, once we identify partners, to actually not just put cash, but also put capital, potentially, if needed, in the long term. So it's a platform for collaboration, for experimentation, and for pioneering. And for those of you who have not seen it, been there, unilever.com/foundry. And basically, it's also a process. It's an approach to go from brief to global scale. So really from startup to scale up, from writing a brief by the brand or by a category inside the company or a function, put it online. That takes about 6 weeks period until we receive application. That's the time we need to, both the startups and the curation partners to actually help us receive and analyze, shortlist the application. That takes another 3 to 4 weeks. And then we usually have a pitch day. We actually then decide on a pilot, plan the pilot, and then we do the pilot with the idea, if it works, that we're going to launch it globally. And that's where the power for a startup of working with Unilever is, number one, we fund the pilot, but also number two, if the pilot works, then we have the ability to help you, reach multiple categories, multiple brands, multiple countries. So one of the examples I'd like to share with you is an example, and I think that we had some ice cream at some point in time that we were going to give you, but unfortunately I think that they melted along the way in the traffic jams today, so I heard. So I'm not sure you're going to have the ice cream. Having said that, thanks to this actual partnership with New Air, you can actually probably find out where there are ice cream and you can share them with your friend. That was actually the challenge that the Magnum team put up to the Foundry, how to leverage technology to engage with consumers around 3 million ice cream cabinets that we have around the world.
Proximity marketing is an area we're really interested in because we have over 3 million Magnum ice cream cabinets globally. So imagine every Magnum ice cream cabinet is able to talk directly to consumers via their mobile phone at the right time, in the right place, with relevant messages and offers. It will be a game changer for us in terms of engagement and driving sales. Through the Foundry, we've teamed up with New Air, a brilliant startup who have real expertise in this area, and we're now working with our mobile agency partners, Carborama, to bring this idea to life. We're going to test market this summer in the UK.
Yeah, so I'm Dave Matthews. I'm founder of a company called New Air. And we take all the ambient radio data that's around us, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular, and we create useful interactions to people. And we do this through an application that runs either on your phone or maybe in devices inside your home or inside your office.
So the idea is really to get consumers to make the most out of their unplanned moments of pleasure when you've got the time but you need to find the place and the people to share it with. So we're going to use New Air's platform, proximity platform and beacon technology to allow people to find out what friends are nearby them and invite those friends to share an ice cream with them.
So again, what's interesting about this is not that much specifically the platform and the technology for all of you in the room, but it's the fact that at Unilever, we probably wouldn't have done that without the Foundry. Because it's not obvious to spend the time and the money and the resources, etc., to do a pilot of that kind with $50,000. We usually don't, or pounds, sorry. We usually don't operate like that when we start to do a brief, put it up to an agency, etc. Whereas by tapping into a startup that had already the solution, the technology, and giving them the chance to prove it on Magnum, it actually creates a win-win. And so that's really where the rubber meets the road, is this win-win between the startup and the global brand. Another example that I'd like to share with you, so we have series of briefs that we release. We did a release on the Internet of Things, that when New Air came on ad tech, we had a release on sustainability. This is an example borrowed from a question which is quite simple, which is the question that unfortunately a lot of people have every day in the evening, which is what's for dinner? And how to use ad tech and more particularly artificial intelligence to answer that question.
As Knorr's growth accelerates across Africa and Asia, we need to explore new ways to engage with people in these markets. One of the key challenges is that the primary device in these markets are basic and feature phones. And with that comes a primary form of communication, which is text-based messaging. For us, the challenge was, how do we answer the question of what's for dinner tonight? We put this challenge to Unilever Foundry, and we're interested to see what solutions might come back.
At Digital Genius, we're building artificial intelligence combined with natural language processing that allows us to automate tens of thousands of real-time conversations.
And we have an amazing team that delivers this technology to some of the world's largest brands and corporations. When we first heard about Knorr's brief, we thought, wow, it's an amazing opportunity to make our technology available to millions of people worldwide. Through working with Unilever and wider Knorr team, we've built Chef Wendy, an artificially intelligent chef that helps customers to cook better meals using Knorr products every day.
A user can simply text the ingredients they have at home and immediately get a response with the dishes they can cook. This has also allowed Unilever to build a very big database of personal profiles of many customers they can now use to push targeted campaigns of their new products.
This system has proven to be overwhelmingly successful, with engagement being far higher than with other digital channels. Even more, we're reaching and crafting relationships with people we had no access to previously.
Working with Unilever is an amazing experience. They helped us to find a new use case, a new opportunity for our technology in an entirely new market. And now, following a successful pilot, we are working together with Unilever to scale this across different markets, different brands, different products, and make this system available to hundreds of millions of people worldwide.
So a couple insights on this one, because so Dimitri is doing our promotion very nicely. First of all, it's interesting to see a Russian and Ukrainian joining forces to create an artificial intelligence platform, something which, to be honest and very transparent, artificial intelligence was not on my radar screen, before we met and before we started to work with them. Sometimes there are days when I go to the Unilever office in Blackfriars where I feel these guys have taken residency in our building, because I see them in the lobby, I see them on various floors, etc. So it has put artificial intelligence inside the radar screen, certainly of Unilever. But it has also, transformed my thinking. I asked one of the two guys, Bogdan, I asked him, so why do you do this? Why do you work on artificial intelligence? And he told me something I'll always remember. He said, because I don't understand every morning why I can't communicate with my coffee maker. And I was really, it was refreshing to think, although it may sound a little bit scary, but for those of you who have seen the movie Her, actually, why can't you communicate with your coffee maker if you can communicate with your operating system? So anyway, this is, again, all what we are trying to do here is really creating a new model, and that's really as exciting for our marketeers as it is, I think, for the startup community, because it's all about this idea of, not doing everything in a way where we plan for months, for years, and perfect, but we actually launch and learn, where we are much more open and collaborative in the way we do things, and also where we bring really the outside in. So again, the idea is, for all the startups in the room, pitch us, pilot with us. This is really what we're interested to do, is for you to look at the projects, look at the briefs that we have, that we will put online, and collaborate with us. Tap into our expertise. We've also really created almost mentoring and reverse mentoring program as part of this, so that the marketeers are actually able and willing to work with some of the startups to bring them an expertise in exchange wherever they're interested in exchange for actually this entrepreneurial spirit that we certainly gain from working with startups. And then, follow us to hear about the new briefs. And this, I must say, has been a fantastic experience. When I brought Jeremy on the team, who has been out of the room, I think, because he was standing in for me on the judging. But we started this journey really thinking it was going to be hard because it's quite different, quite pioneering, and Unilever was not necessarily leading on that front. And I think that working together with you guys, both the marketers from Unilever in the room and also the startup community, we can really create something which in the end is more important than any of the innovations that we are doing. I think that the importance of what we're doing with the Foundry is about making pioneering, experimenting, making working in startup communities a way of life. And that's really what I think some of you are pursuing. You're pursuing your dreams. I have 3 teenage kids. All of them are pioneering and working somehow on their own startups. And so I applaud all the work that you guys are doing through AdTech, inventing the future. Thanks.